Welcome to the No Views News. This program was created on Friday, May 7th, at 3:25 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, by Zeno Reader. There are 692 headlines from 106 feeds we check to build this automated report. Welcome to No Views, daily automated podcast news. The headlines in this super unknown daily news summary do not imply fact-checking or endorsement of ideas. The first headlines are from the current most popular news site, Yahoo News, with 175 million estimated monthly unique visitors. FEC drops Trump hush money investigation. New Jersey infectious disease expert dies in India of COVID-19. An attorney for an accused Capitol rioter claimed his client participated in the January 6th siege because he had Foxitis and Foxmania from watching Fox News for 6 months. Melinda Gates warned Bill about Jeffrey Epstein. Ex-cop found with $570K in van after crash with soccer team bus, Nebraska sheriff says. Biden news, President derides Trump on infrastructure, amid fury over Florida elections bill. Opposition grows to fourth cruise ship dock in Mexico's Cozumel. DeSantis ban on vaccine proof may send one company's cruise ships out of Florida. NC issues alert for tool containing radioactive material that was stolen in Durham. Dad accused of fatally hitting son who ate his cheesecake pleads guilty in Wisconsin. The next headlines are from the second most popular news website at this time, with 150 million unique monthly visitors, Google News. Germany's move to electric vehicles will affect thousands of workers, new study says, CNBC. Prince Harry knew Meghan Markle, Oprah Winfrey interview would rock the boat, report, Fox News. LA Clippers Kawhi Leonard feels ready to go, but Ty Lue to keep minutes capped, ESPN. Atlanta mayor won't run again, NPR. Cases rise, pressure grows on Modi to impose strict lockdown, the Associated Press. Rio's deadly police shootout prompts claims of abuse, Associated Press. Hostages freed, suspect arrested after St. Cloud bank robbery standoff, Minneapolis Star-Tribune. China's exports surged 32.3% in April, surpassing expectations, CNBC. Fighting in the NHL reveals few, if any, winners, The New York Times. Jesse Williams is leaving Grey's Anatomy and says he's immensely proud of his time on the show, BuzzFeed. The following headlines are from the third most popular news website, with 110 million unique monthly visitors, The Huffington Post. Florida newspaper rips GOP Governor Ron DeSantis for acting like tyrannical Trump. Senator Elizabeth Warren doesn't believe the GOP is really breaking up with big business. Is it selfish to make an elaborate coffee drink order? The creators of the inclusion rider want all of Hollywood to get on board. Chuck Schumer wants Biden to cancel $50,000 in student loan debt to support veterans. Science explains why coffee makes you pee so much. What your disabled friends want you to know about going back to normal post-vaccine. Josh Hawley's cancelled wine gets thoroughly debunked by CNN's Brianna Keilar. Twitter user spot the embarrassing part of Senator Ted Cruz's t-shirt tweet. Minnesota bank robbery standoff ends peacefully, hostages unharmed. The next headlines are from the fourth most popular news website, with 95 million estimated unique monthly visitors, CNN. Parents ask for mask exemption for kids. Rare speckled lucky lobster finds new home. 2-year-old overdoses on fentanyl. Couple has eyes gouged, ears bitten. DNA leads to arrest in 1983 murder cold case. Auto dealers struggle with chip shortage. Football player found dead off campus. Hospital has special mental health rooms for teens. Nurse randomly punched in NYC. PD, man accused in wife shooting death. The next headlines are from the fifth most popular news website at this time, with 70 million estimated unique monthly visitors, The New York Times. Biden versus Putin. Sign up, coronavirus briefing. Sign up, on politics. Why herd immunity is slipping away. U.S. jobs report is expected to show a big gain. Elizabeth Warren on what we get wrong about inequality. Spotlighting a history of slavery in New York City. Belonging is stronger than facts, the age of misinformation. COVID in Hamburg, how small businesses are coping. Fighting COVID poverty in the Philippines. The following headlines are from the 6th most popular news website, with an estimated 65 million monthly unique visitors, Fox News. Cuomo urged to make New York houses of worship essential to administer vaccines. Hans von Spakovsky, voter suppression, Dems flat out wrong, census data gives real story about U.S. elections. Tennessee ban on teaching critical race theory gets state assembly okay. Biden omits God from National Day of Prayer proclamation. Florida Army vet of Afghanistan gunned down on daughter's 4th birthday, reports. Florida dental hygienist found guilty in cold case killing of Navy recruit. Texas Republican lawmakers advance elections bill. Republicans face dueling narratives, aimed at the next election, or the last one. San Francisco double-stabbing suspect charged with premeditated attempted murder. Prince Harry knew Meghan Markle, Oprah Winfrey interview would rock the boat, report. You are hearing today's top news headlines and more. Today is Friday, May 7th. The next headlines are from the 7th most popular news website, with 63 million estimated monthly unique visitors, CBS News. Students, parents protest racial profiling of black 5th grader at San Francisco Safeway. Stimulus check update, is a 4th relief payment in your future? Wells Fargo Championship preview, Quail Hollow tests you from the first hole, says CBS Sports' Frank Nubilo. Interview, Dan Reynolds and Christine Reynolds on Paramount Plus as From Cradle to Stage. Child tax credit, parents will soon get a monthly check, but for how much? Moderna says its COVID vaccine is 96% effective in protecting 12 to 17-year-old kids. Payment Protection Program runs out of money ahead of May 31st application deadline. The next headlines are from the 8th most popular news website, with an estimated 53 million monthly unique visitors, Mail Online, the Daily Mail. Kent police ask for help from forces across the country to help solve Julia James murder. Britain resists calls for intellectual property rights on COVID-19 vaccines to be waived. Blaze rips through tower block flat with Grenfell-style cladding as 100 firefighters battle flames. The most popular dog breed on TikTok revealed. Labour suffers crushing defeats in early results from local council wards. Tories secure historic Hartlepool by-election win over Labour. Prices to would-be green list destinations soar. Grandmother who's been doing workouts to raise money for the NHS celebrates her 100th birthday. Cafe owner issues rant after customer leaves one review because his sandwich didn't come with beans. Ford driver knocked over and killed university graduate, 29, when he had blackout, inquest hears. The next headlines are from the 10th most popular news website, which has an estimated 42 million monthly unique visitors, The Guardian. This is The Guardian's US news feed. UK construction grows rapidly amid surging costs, iron ore and copper at record highs, Business Live. Coronavirus Live News, WHO warns of risk of new wave in Africa, UK no quarantine travel list to be announced. It's good Biden is suspending vaccine patents, but the whole rotten system needs overhaul. David Adler and Mamka Eniona. Body cams help hold police accountable. In LA, it can take a lawsuit to get footage. This week's new tracks, Joan, Self-Esteem, The Weeknd, Ariana Grande. A Dirty Business, How One Drug is Turning Syria into a Narco-State. EU court upholds ban on insecticides linked to harming bees. U.S. military has no plan to shoot down debris from falling Chinese rocket. Wyoming stands up for coal with threat to sue states that refuse to buy it. How U.S. companies could use patients' data from COVID vaccine drive. The following headlines are from the 12th most popular news website, with an estimated 36 million monthly unique visitors, ABC News. Police, 29 people recovered from semi-truck in Texas. Trumpy, Trump trend Trumpst, Virginia GOP to vote on nominee for governor. Parents of Walter Wallace Jr. demand justice and police reform in Philadelphia. Police, suspect who held hostages at Minnesota bank arrested. St. Louis man sentenced to life in death of son and two others. Man accused of lying about large group hike at Grand Canyon. The next headlines are from the 13th most popular news website, with an estimated 35 million monthly unique visitors, the BBC News. Zulu Queen, Manthambi Dlamini Zulu buried amid succession row. Liz Cambage, Australian criticizes Olympic team photo shoot. Big Chinese rocket segment set to fall to Earth. Mohammed Nasheed, Maldives ex-president injured in blast. Idaho school shooting, girl in Rigby wounds 3, police say. Australia to resume India repatriation flights after backlash. Chernobyl spirit drink seized by Ukraine security teams. Report, China emissions exceed all developed nations combined. Florida governor signs voting restriction law. Trump social media, Twitter suspends account sharing ex-president's posts. The following headlines are from the 14th most popular news website, with an estimated 34 million monthly unique visitors, USA Today. Nancy Wilson honors late Eddie Van Halen. India records 400k cases in single day, a new global high. Blackfeet tribe shares vaccine with relatives in Canada. Live COVID-19 updates. Peaceful resolution, horse-long hostage situation at Wells Fargo Bank in Minnesota ends with arrest, authorities say. AP top stories May 7th. It's real, a 6th grade girl opened fire in Idaho middle school, injuring 3, horrified students thought it was a drill. Student in custody after Idaho school shooting. Asian American health workers fight virus attacks. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms not seeking re-election. Great burden has been lifted. Alabama medical marijuana bill headed to governor after historic votes, resistance. Today in history for May 7th. The next headlines are from the 15th most popular news website, with an estimated 35.5 million monthly unique visitors, the LA Times. 4.7 quake near Truckee triggers earthquake early warning alert. 3 more whales wash up dead near San Francisco, 8 total in 5 weeks. Young Latino and Black people have the lowest rate of COVID-19 vaccination in LA County, new data show. 3 teenagers arrested for allegedly starting Thousand Oaks brush fire. After personal effects were retrieved, workers collected 35 tons of trash at Echo Park Lake. Orange County and other California sites to close mass COVID-19 vaccination centers. Justice in Italy has worked. Many in Rome applaud Californians' life sentences in police killing. California bar owner charged with selling fake COVID-19 vaccination cards. U.S. Appeals Court upholds California program for workers without retirement benefits. California State Fair postponed to allow for more COVID-19 vaccinations at Cal Expo site. We hope you are enjoying this news podcast. Today is Friday, May 7th, 2021. You just heard from the top 15 most popular news websites in the world. More, from other news sources, is up next. Next, Reddit World News. Reddit is a user collective which claims over 430 million active users per month, and these are the top voted stories today. 80% of Pakistan's pangolins lost to illegal hunting, illegal trade mainly with China, World Wildlife Fund. COVID is leaving hundreds of Indian children orphaned. Now there are concerns of child trafficking. Swiss neo-Nazi fined for outrageous anti-Semitic speech accusing Jews of starting 2 world wars. Dubai luxury home market soars as world's rich flee pandemic. After US reversal, EU ready to discuss COVID-19 vaccine patent waiver. Modi presses ahead with $1.8 billion parliament renovation even as COVID-19 ravages India. Brazil shocked by warlike police raid that leaves 25 dead in Rio de Janeiro favela. In major move, South Africa to end captive lion industry. Poll shows 71% of Chinese agree that China has the right amount of democracy. Canada inches closer to waiving intellectual property rights on vaccines, amid political pressure. India sees record COVID-19 rise, 412,000 new cases in single day. Mass rape used as weapon 6 months into war in Ethiopia's Tigray. Nepal facing human catastrophe similar to India's amid COVID surge. 9,000 flyers may have had reused swabs jammed up their noses in Indonesia. Canadian dollar tops 82 cents for first time since 2017. The next headlines are from Forbes. Government to scale back England's £27 billion road program, reports BBC. Elon Musk warns people to invest with caution as Dogecoin rallies ahead of his SNL appearance. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms won't seek re-election later this year. Philippine tycoon Enrique Razon's ICTSI posts 51% jump in Q1 profit. Apprenticeships have risen 64% since 2010. How should policymakers support them? This female-led food tech company is disrupting nutrition solutions for babies and children, offering a unique community platform to support parents globally. Even with limited capacity, lively atmosphere for the Houston Astros and New York Yankees resembles a step towards normalcy. Forget roses, what mom really wants for Mother's Day is rose. Brands can finally control their product data on Instacart. Ex-FDA Chief Gottlieb says it's time to relax indoor mask rules, but the CDC isn't so sure. The next headlines are from Nature.com. Scientists OK plan to release 1 million tons of wastewater from Fukushima. In shock move, US backs waiving patents on COVID vaccines. 6 lessons from a pandemic PhD student. Minuscule drums push the limits of quantum weirdness. How many COVID deaths are acceptable in a post-pandemic world? Swiss funder draws lots to make grand decisions. Antarctic rocks on the rebound could raise sea level much more than expected. Pfizer COVID vaccine protects against worrying coronavirus variants. How does a cylinder levitate? Scientists explain the maths behind the magic. The World Population Update. Currently, we are increasing by over 220,000 people a day, expecting to reach 8 billion in 2023. At the time this report was generated, the population was estimated to be 7,703,603,950 humans. Worldometers.info says there are 195 countries at this time and, of those, the top 10 with the largest populations are, in order, China, India, the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, and then Mexico. The next headlines are from Variety. Any Given Day filmmaker preps docu-series on fight to free Black, Latino men framed for murder exclusive. HBO Max defrosts Spain's answer to Captain America with live-action Garca adaptation. Noel Clarke accused of impropriety on BBC's Doctor Who set, BBC shocked and will investigate. Van Raj Bhatia, composer to India's New Age cinema, dies at 93. Fruits of Labor Review, a Mexican-American family struggles in Central California. The Big Scary S-Word Review, defanging socialism as capitalism trumps democracy. Walking with Herb Review, Edward James Olmos lives faith-based, golf-centric comedy drama. China's Huai Brothers, marks third year of losses, despite delivering the highest-grossing film of 2020. Paramount Plus sets Australia, New Zealand launch date. Dwarfopsychosis wins big at Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge Awards. The following headlines are from NPR, National Public Radio. Banking on busy summer travel season, airlines add more flights and new routes. As Biden shifts on immigration, some advocates see him giving up without a fight. Vaccination against COVID does not mean immunity for people with organ transplants. Keisha Lance Bottoms won't run for re-election as Atlanta mayor. What goes up must come down, including a giant Chinese rocket plunging toward Earth. Grand jury indicts Puerto Rican boxer Flix Verdejo in death of pregnant lover. A remote work revolution is underway, but not for everyone. Goodwill doesn't want your broken toaster. New era in resettlement, U.S. refugee advocates count on more community-based help. How systemic racism continues to determine black health and wealth in Chicago. The following headlines are from The Week. Biden's lifeline for red state cities. Americans are incoherent on immigration. Liz Cheney's heresy. 5 brutally funny cartoons about the GOP's shunning of Liz Cheney. Deadlocked FEC declines to investigate Trump over Stormy Daniels' hush payment. Late night hosts explain the Trump GOP's Liz Cheney purge, mock Caitlyn Jenner's hanger pains. In 1 year, Minnesota man turns knack for making ice cream into a new career. Liz Cheney secretly orchestrated January 3rd letter from 10 defense secretaries warning about Trump, friend says. Elise Stefanik tells Steve Bannon in 2022, Republicans need Trump and his coalition of voters. Trump likes Elise Stefanik, but it appears his base still needs to come around. The following headlines are from the Texas Observer. Texas enabled the worst carbon monoxide poisoning catastrophe in recent U.S. history. On Juneteenth refuses easy answers about the importance of people of color to Texas history. The next headlines are from Universe Today. SpaceX's N-15 Starship prototype nails it. These are the news headlines for today, Friday, May 7th. This podcast is produced only in English at this time. As of 2020, the Ethnologue reference lists 7,117 different human languages, with English being the third most common, after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. The following headlines are from earthsky.org. Mars might support microbial life, deep underground. Spica, bright beacon of Virgo, is a whirling pair of egg-shaped stars. Bright star Vega on May evenings. Star hop to the hunting dogs. Uncontrollable China rocket hurtles towards re-entry. Chinese rovers yearn to attempt to land on Mars this month. NASA expects upcoming space telescope to find 100,000 new worlds. The next news is from Politico. G7 takes aim at China over Taiwan Strait. Europe looks at Biden, increasingly sees Trump. Blinken, U.S. will respond if Russia acts recklessly. How Trump is hunting down the GOP's leading families. The nation's cartoonists on the week in politics. Hunger rates plummet after 2 rounds of stimulus. She built her career boosting GOP women, now Elise Stefanik is elevating herself. The Fox News reporter the White House hates to love. Opinion Facebook thought it was solving a problem, it just got handed a bigger one. The next headlines are from the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. AFL 2021 live updates, Dusty returns and Shea flies as Richmond lead Geelong. NRL 2021 Round 9 live updates, Cleary stars as Panthers flog hapless Sharks. Panthers purring as premiership favourites despite Chambers' sledge. New Queensland discovery set to reduce serious scarring. Brotherhood that rallies in support of Hayne is the domain of disgraceful cowards. Man charged over truck crash unaware of 5 injured pedestrians. Liberal heavyweight asked to review opposition leader's office. I stayed right out of it. Wanderers owner denies transfer collusion claims. Yongshun CBD is back to office process stalls. We cannot prepare kids for 1962, history wars haunt curriculum debate. The next headlines are from MarketWatch. Europe markets, European stocks hover at record highs, led by Adidas, while U.S. futures steady ahead of April jobs report. 5 numbers that explain why the Bill and Melinda Gates divorce is an earthquake for philanthropy. What's behind the steep rise in grocery prices over the last year? Bank of England chief on cryptocurrencies, buy them only if you're prepared to lose all your money. Help me retire, we're in our 60s and have millions of dollars for retirement, should we rent or buy our next home? Auto Trader, the 2021 Volvo XC60 is elegantly styled and a pleasure to drive. NerdWallet, what are your financial blind spots? Next Avenue, 7 things you should do in the first year you are widowed. NIO is making a landmark push outside of China into this electric vehicle-obsessed country. AB InBev CEO Carlos Brito is exiting after 15 years, as North America boss takes over. Next, the top stories about patents and inventions. Understanding the differences between the trilateral patent offices and determining inventive step, intellectual property, Japan, Mondac News alerts. Being aware of how inventive step is determined in Japan. Part 2, Intellectual Property, Japan, Mondac News alerts. Clash of Clans, Heyday game maker fights infringement claims in Marshall Federal Court, Marshall News Messenger. IP strategies for AI innovators in healthcare, intellectual property, UK, Mondac News alerts. Understanding the history of patent harmonization, Part 1, Intellectual property, Japan, Mondac News alerts. Government in no rush to grant compulsory licenses, Times of India. Patent case summaries, April 2021 Number 3 Alston and Bird, J.D. Supra. The barely successful inventor who pioneered repeating rifles, we are the mighty. COVID, the vaccine patent row explained, BBC News. The political left wants to give away patent and copyright protection, the TRIPS waiver, Washington policy. The next headlines are from Quartz. U.S. jobs report, China's rocket, UN meeting. India's ubiquitous auto rickshaws are stepping up as oxygenated ambulances. Indian techies have found workarounds to the government's inefficient vaccine booking system. Tanzania's new leader is making up for lost time in the fight against COVID. Nearly 2 months on, India's devastating COVID-19 wave is still unrelenting. The wait for a Peloton bike is back to pre-COVID levels. How Indian doctors abroad are helping their country fight COVID. The U.S. support for vaccine patent waiver still leaves plenty to be resolved. The surprising business advantage of training your sense of smell. Does the U.S. even need a federal minimum wage anymore? The following headlines are from TechDirt. Peloton is having a rough week, product safety recalls and news of customer data exposure. Devin Nunes' favorite lawyer on the hook for over $20K in sanctions. Fortnite, a free game, made $9 billion in 2 years. Why is a congressional staffer teaming up with a Hollywood lobbyist to celebrate expansion of criminal copyright laws? NYAG proves broadband industry funded phony public support for attack on net neutrality. Daily Deal, the complete ethical hacking course. Former FCC boss Ajit Pai gets handsomely rewarded for years of broadband policy falsehoods. Putin's crackdown on demonstrators adds a sadistic twist, using surveillance cameras to identify people, but to arrest them only days or months later. Huge news, U.S. Gov agrees to support intellectual property waiver to help fight COVID. We are now about 1/3 of the way through this daily news headlines podcast, a free service. Next, are the top trending keywords in Google web searches for today, a different window on world events. Earthquake. Tulips. Lakers vs. Clippers. Mitch McConnell. Nurses Week. Rigby Middle School. A Quiet Place 2. Floyd Mayweather. Jake Ellinger. Arsenal vs. Villarreal. The next headlines are from RT, the first Russian news station in English. U.S. facing most epic bond bubble in the history of bubbles, strategist tells Boombust. Malaysia's former prime minister fined for flouting COVID rules. Risk of rocket debris causing any harm extremely low, China says, as U.S. warns remnants could hit Earth. Don't learn from ostriches, Beijing tells Tokyo not to bury its head in the sand over Fukushima wastewater row. U.S. energy production saw steepest drop on record in 2020. Turkish security forces arrest 8 ISIS terror suspects in simultaneous raids at 15 addresses. Russia-China trade turnover jumps almost 20% since beginning of 2021. Russia's gold and foreign currency reserves break through $590 billion. Breaking the red wall, Tory candidate wins in Labour stronghold Hartlepool for first time since its 1974 creation. Is this the Handmaid's Tale? Fourth-year Congresswoman details her woes as birthing person to much bemusement. The next headlines are from Zero Hedge. Buffett's refusal to split Berkshire stock is creating a Y2K-like problem for Nasdaq. Children are far more likely to die from diarrhea than COVID-19. Green switch to electric cars could cost Germany 100,000 jobs. White House says we support Ukraine's ambitions to join NATO. Social unrest fears mount as world food prices soar in April. NATO's southeastern spearhead, Turkey's military aggression in Iraq, Syria, Yemen, and Caucasus signals proxy conflict with Iran. Are Americans becoming Sovietized? Super rich gobble up trophy trees for their mansions. Space Force chief scientist says developing augmented super soldiers is imperative. April payrolls preview, it will be a blowout number, but will it be to blow out? The following headlines are from Al Jazeera, Middle East News. Germany's third COVID wave appears broken, health minister says. China's trade surged in April as overseas demand heats up. For Norway's Telenor, Myanmar's coup leaves many dilemmas, CEO. U.S. calls on Hong Kong to release Tiananmen vigil activists. Kashmir doctors prohibited from speaking to media as COVID rages. 2 Palestinians killed by Israeli troops after alleged attack. Maldives in shock after explosion wounds Speaker Mohammed Nasheed. Pakistani Prime Minister Khan visits Saudi Arabia to reset ties. Possible Israel war crimes and East Jerusalem land right case, UN. Pakistan plans spending surge to create jobs as COVID cases rise. The next headlines are from Breitbart. Rep anti-bar calls out Nike at hearing on China's Uyghur slave labor, woke, corporate hypocrisy on the rise. Poll, huge majority of Capitol Hill aides believe Pelosi's partisan socialist agenda will not pass Congress. U.S. fines Honeywell $13 million for sharing military specs with China. Cassidy, 25% of GOP agrees with Liz Cheney, will be needed to win in 2022. Quail Yar, Biden admin, playing shell game on unaccompanied minors. Bernie Sanders goes to bat for Liz Cheney, GOP is an anti-democratic cult. Ohio Senate candidate Republican Bernie Moreno raises over $1 million in first 30 days. Pentagon silent after refusing permit for annual POWMIA motorcycle ride. Quail Yar, the border is not under control, they're just moving kids from one tent to another. Department of Homeland Security's Mayorkas stages open border theater. The next headlines are from UPI News. Michigan woman wins $150,000 Powerball prize with years-old numbers. Watch, identical twins earn $24 million worth of scholarships. Menu from 1913 found in rafters of British cafe. Watch, Philippines man collects 20,000 fast food toys. Watch, New York police wrangle loose horse wandering Staten Island. Look, Rabar impales truck in Florida, driver uninjured. Look, fox rescued from storm tank at sewage treatment plant. Illinois 12-year-old builds world's tallest popsicle stick structure. The next headlines are from odd, strange and bizarre things. Baking hacks to get you using your oven. What to know about applying for VA disability benefits. The following headlines are from goodnewsnetwork.org. They melted down 22,000 firearms in Belgium, recycling them into steel. He saved a stranger from drowning in India, now they're married in the Netherlands. 79-year-old diver and this fish have been BFFs for nearly 30 years, he nursed her back to health. Toddler without hands gets a puppy without paw, it's fate and a beautiful thing. World-renowned psychiatrist is writing COVID prescriptions for daily poetry reading. You're tuned to No Views, daily automated podcast news. This is a report for Friday, May 7th. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Reddit Offbeat News. 9,000 flyers may have had reused swabs jammed up their noses in Indonesia. Detroit area thieves are stealing Chevy Equinox steering wheels for their airbags. New Zealand man threatened with prosecution over penis pothole drawings. Serbia will give $30 to every person who gets vaccinated, and unvaccinated people won't get paid sick leave if they catch coronavirus. Woman gives birth to 9 babies. The grim reason why Finland is the happiest place on earth. Austin lawyer known as Dwee Dude gets 15 years in prison for scamming Colombian narcos. Ohio State Senator is caught zooming and driving. Fresh pizza vending machine prompts curiosity and horror in Rome. The next headlines are from a site called The Next Web. How skeuomorphism is holding back the future of EV charging. How Big Pharma finds sick users on Facebook. Beat imposter syndrome by developing true confidence as a software engineer. Google is launching iOS-style privacy labels for Android apps next year. Netflix is considering launching N+, a behind-the-scenes content hub. Your e-bike doesn't need a ton of power to be worth the price. PSA, those your porn name games are scams trying to get your personal info. Google will soon automatically enroll users in TUFA. Researchers say this combo of old-school invisible ink and AI is uncrackable. Here's how autonomous cars could help remote and unpopulated areas. The following headlines are from Science Daily. Sugar-sweetened drinks linked to increased risk of colorectal cancer in women under 50, study finds. PCB contamination in Icelandic orcas, a matter of diet. Swabbing elevates processing plant food safety. Scrap for cash before coins. Online learning doesn't improve student sleep habits, research suggests. Organ transplant recipients remain vulnerable to COVID-19 even after second vaccine dose. Molecular glue makes perovskite solar cells dramatically more reliable over time. Temperature explains why aquatic life is more diverse near equator. Evading the uncertainty principle in quantum physics. Most human origins stories are not compatible with known fossils. The next headlines are from Information Week. Transformation, disruption, and gender diversity in tech. How to enable data at operational speed. This is a reading of news headlines. This broadcast was created on Friday, May 7th from over 100 sources to give you a bigger picture of the news. The next headlines are from NASA News. NASA invites public media to watch asteroid mission begin return to Earth. NASA awards Earth Science Data and Information System contract. The next headlines are from the Salt Lake Tribune. The Salt Lake Bees and baseball return to Smith's Ballpark Thursday. Here's how it went. Bayou men's volleyball 1 win away from national title. Utah protest against medical tyranny includes burning a giant effigy of a vaccine syringe. Former Governor Gary Herbert begins working part-time at Utah Valley Chamber of Commerce. This next year is your rookie season. Donovan Mitchell gives University of Utah commencement speech. The wife of the LDS president is speaking at Utah Valley University's commencement. Here's why LGBTQ students are opposed. Look what's coming to downtown Salt Lake City, another skyscraper. Here are the high points. Here are the takeaways about the disparities that minority groups face in Utah. Utah man charged in Capitol insurrection to be evaluated for mental competency after outburst in court hearing. 16-year-old charged as adult for fatal stabbing. The next headlines are from Slashdot, Tech News for Nerds. A new printer uses sawdust to print wooden objects. Latest search for alien civilizations looked at 60 million stars, detects no signals. China's emissions now exceed all the developed worlds combined. U.S. physics lab Fermilab exposes proprietary data for all to see. When autonomous cars teach themselves to drive better than humans. Wall Street Bets Forum members targeted in Telegram cryptocurrency scam. How China turned a prize-winning iPhone hack against the UIers. Coinbase to close San Francisco offices for good, will have no headquarters. Microsoft is finally ditching its Windows 95-era icons. Opposing Pro Act, Uber and other gig companies spend over $1 million lobbying. The next headlines are from Fox St. Louis. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms won't seek re-election. This is not acceptable, Rockwood School Board issues statement after recent threats. Investigation into fatal buttocks enhancements brings shocking discoveries. Ferguson police investigate deadly hit-and-run crash. Contact 2, St. Louis County resident questions penalties and fees for late tax bill. Senator Roy Blunt weighs in on 2022 race to replace him in U.S. Senate. Gringo Jones closing after 25 years. 2 men shot dead at St. Louis County apartment complex. Missouri House approves legislation to pay college athletes for name, likeness. Fox 2 special, COVID-19, the next steps. These are the current headlines from the world's most interesting news websites. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Fox San Diego. Cold case advocate joins search for missing Chula Vista mom Maya Milite. Driver hurt in rollover crash after police chase. 3 county COVID-19 vaccine sites now offer evening hours. San Diego County releases proposed $7 billion budget. Police ID 41-year-old woman found dead in Little Italy trash can. Man to stand trial for home invasion robberies that led to accomplice's death. Here's where support was highest for Newsom recall petition. Gloria will look to maintain library hours after proposed budget slashed them. Coxes live there, Jenner on Hannity, The Week in California recall news. Accused smuggling boat captain faces judge for first time. The next headlines are from spooknews.com. Stalking someone with an AirTag is frighteningly easy, report says. It's easier than it should be to stalk someone with an AirTag. Foreign intelligence surveillance court rubber stamps mass. Peeping Tom installed camera in his neighbor's bathroom on Spain's Costa Blanca, Olive Press News Spain. Will Matthew Rhys become the second person to win an Emmy for playing Perry Mason? Judge Andrew P. Napolitano, now the post office is spying on Americans, will our government ever behave? Man's second date goes viral after roommate asks Diamondbacks to spy on parrot game. Creeps could use AirTags to stalk people with frightening ease. iPhone hack used by China to spy on UAE Muslims 9 to 5 Mac. Try using a Bluetooth scanner app to find unwanted AirTags. The following headlines are from Defense Blog. U.S. Air Force's MQ-9 Reapers gets bolstered capabilities. Russian Su-57 fighters cause mysterious sound that frightened Moscow residents. U.S. Air Force confirms Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile test failure. U.S. Air Force is one step closer to receive autonomous unmanned combat aircraft. Lockheed Martin receives $51 in support of the French Air Force C-130 aircraft. The next headlines are from SupChina, top news about China. Australia is responsible for all this. China suspends economic dialogue with Canberra, blames Cold War mentality. How technology and capital can help accelerate agricultural innovation in China. China tests digital yuan in villages. Tencent execs Youth Day message for China's youth: you are sleeping too much. This is the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today, in the GMT time zone, is Friday, May 7th, 2021. Now, more headlines. The next headlines are from KRON4 San Francisco. New study, people are more willing to get vaccinated with cash incentive. Earthquake rattles near Truckee. Grandmother stabbed in San Francisco is in great spirits, family says. Moderna making strides in effort to vaccinate children. Recall organizers pleased with efforts to remove Newsom. Suspect who stabbed 2 Asian women in SF has violent crime history. Track star files sex assault lawsuit against Bay Area high schools. Santa Clara County approves $350 MTO build more affordable housing. FBI San Francisco announces new strategies to combat hate crimes. These are the counties that had the highest support for Newsom's recall, final state numbers show. The next headlines are from the Daily Herald. Maldives police say blessed vet heard Nasheed act of terrorism. Man charged with stabbing 2 Asian women in San Francisco. Johnson takes the helm in a year of change on the Libertyville Village Board. District 21 proposes Administration and Community Service Center in development next door. Metropolis resumes in-person performances, with an outdoor tent. Let's do something. After cemetery opposition, Barrington officials want to help veterans. Small house, big garage, residential component proposed for Naperville's Iron Gate. Club Arcade reopening this weekend, theater to return in July. Law enforcement community honors officers killed in the line of duty. Longtime Glendale Heights president takes election fight to federal court. The following headlines are from Seattle PI. Spring babies in Seattle, here's when you should help newborn wildlife, according to WA officials. The next alerts are from the Global Disaster Alerting and Coordination System, a cooperative effort from disaster managers worldwide. Drought is ongoing in Mexico. Drought is ongoing in Afghanistan, China, Iran, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. Drought is ongoing in Bolivia, Brazil. Drought is ongoing in Angola, Congo, DRC. Drought is ongoing in Madagascar. Drought is ongoing in Iraq, Jordan, Syria, Turkey. Drought is ongoing in Algeria, Libya, Tunisia. Drought is ongoing in China, India, Nepal. Drought is ongoing in Canada, United States. Drought is ongoing in Mozambique. You are hearing the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today is Friday, May 7th in the Greenwich Mean Time zone. Headlines here were found today in news feeds from around the world, but we do focus on the USA, one of the world's current 195 countries. Now, more news. The next headlines are from Cypher Brief Security News and High-Level Analysis. An expert brief on economic security, investment and jurisdictional risk. The next headlines are from ABC Houston. Sunny Friday, rain chance returns for Mother's Day. All lanes of Southwest Freeway northbound at West Loop will be closed for Mother's Day weekend. 63-year-old man drive to Houston from Louisiana to meet 14-year-old for sex, deputies say. ABC 13 hosts virtual job fair featuring more than 2,000 jobs. Fort Bend company no longer considering joining Greater Houston Partnership, county judge says. Texas Court of Appeals tell Houston mayor no in legal dispute with firefighters. Army to put civilian in charge of criminal investigations in wake of Vanessa Guillen murder. Texas protesters who obstruct emergency vehicles could face felony charges. Houston woman gets phone scam so threatening, she reported it to police. Houston nurse gets sense of relief after looking back at pandemic vlogs. The following headlines are from China Post, top news about China, Taiwan and the world. Tokyo Olympic head says Bach visit to Japan could be tough. Doctors in Nepal warn of major crisis as virus cases surge. Exclamation point, Wenshan Forest Park to debut in early 2022. U.S. citizen in Thailand charged with murdering Thai wife. Texas GOP's voting restriction bill passes key House vote. China discounts possibility of harm from falling rocket. The latest, German official warns against quick reopening. Global shares mostly rise on U.S. rally, eyes on jobs data. W18CP, the weekly briefing. Celebrate Mother's Day with an Insta-worthy photo of the Nine Dragons banyan tree. The following headlines are from The Gothamist. Nearly 70% of all New York State judges are white, new report finds. Extra, cat given adorable ceremony for saving elderly man's life. Rikers inmates will no longer bury the dead amid Hart Island transformation. Sheldon Silver reportedly ordered back to prison after 2-day release. Supporters herald signing of HERO Act with worker protections. NYC to launch City Artist Corps with $25 million to support local artists. 18 people charged in takedown of Brooklyn gang accused of killing 1-year-old. Want to help India's COVID crisis? Donating to small organizations may be your best bet. Coronavirus statistics, tracking the epidemic in New York. NYC should offer COVID shots to tourists at popular sites, de Blasio says. We hope you are enjoying this podcast. If you have a suggestion for a new RSS feed we should add, please leave it in a comment on our YouTube page. The next headlines are from globalissues.org. The illusion of digital inclusion in the post-COVID world. Africa goes digital. Dr. Aksa Sheikh, transgender doctor injecting hope during COVID pandemic. 20 million more people face food crisis, as acute hunger rates rise to a 5-year high. Former LRA leader, ex-child soldier, sentenced to 25 years in prison. Nearly 8 years on, gaps, inconsistencies, discrepancies remain over Syria chemical weapons declaration. How West African leaders can tackle youth and gender inequities. Cut methane emissions to avert global temperature rise, UN-backed study urges. Gooders renews zero emissions appeal to avoid falling into climate abyss. Latin America rights groups face growing threats, attacks, Bachelet. The next headlines are from blacklistednews.com. U.S. birth and fertility rates in 2020 dropped to another record low. Trevor Noah, why are people who get the vaccine still being made to wear masks? COVID has triggered the next great financial crisis. Bulletin of Atomic Scientists opens the Wuhan virus Pandora's box. New York Yankees and Mets desegregate vaccinated and unvaccinated fans. Foreign intelligence surveillance court rubber stamps mass surveillance under Section 702, again. Aldous Huxley foresaw our despots, Fauci, Gates, and the vaccine crusaders. Out-of-touch police departments parody May the 4th be with you. Warning, central bank digital currency will be 100% trackable currency. About that rules-based international order. The following headlines are from Snopes, a fact-checking service. Flock of giant California condors trashes woman's home. Apple's App Store chief fends off attacks in antitrust trial. Did South Carolina legislators pass a bill allowing firing squad executions? Did U.S. police tally 10 million arrests in 2020? Is Domino's bringing back Noid, a mascot that reportedly drove a man to take hostages? The anti-war origins of Mother's Day. Does a photo show a fish trapped in a jellyfish? Did an Ohio State senator drive during a Zoom call about distracted driving? Vatican conference features Fauci, Francis, and Aerosmith. Mom who gave birth on flight didn't know she was pregnant. The next headlines are from factcheck.org. Two views of American families plan. Viral post misleads on COVID-19 death reporting, vaccine monitoring. We are now about 2/3 of the way through today's news headlines. When everything is working, this feed will auto-update 3 times per day. Join us daily to stay informed. The next headlines are from the Daily Beast. Sorry snobs, hard seltzer and canned cocktails are blowing up. Will NY polls let adult sexual abuse survivors get justice? Ben Ifer's back, J-Lo and Ben Affleck's pandemic stunts have been a blessing. Nonetheless, Liz Cheney persisted. Big Pharma whines to Biden, we're not the bad guy. Lance Bass is kicking himself for not listening to Britney Spears' Uber investing advice. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't want to fix it. Colombian president pins anti-government protests on narco-traffickers. Tucker Carlson may be America's biggest public health problem. Hollywood wanted me to make my martial arts characters white, but my ancestors wouldn't have it. The next headlines are from the New York Post. Republican running for VA governor under fire as more work for Democrats emerges. Man fatally shot in Brooklyn apartment building. Zach Wheeler rewards Joe Girardi's faith in shutout Jim. Nets looking to get back on track before playoffs. Man who spray-painted 100 penises on road threatened with legal action. The following headlines are from astronomy.com. The sky this week. New moon means deep sky observing. Watch dancing supermassive black holes. Chinese rocket booster will make uncontrolled fall to Earth. You're tuned to the No Views, daily automated podcast news. If you are hearing this, you found something super unknown. Congratulations. Now back to the headlines. The next science headlines are from CBS News. Climate expert weighs in on Biden's promise to cut greenhouse gas emissions. Where does nuclear power fit in as the U.S. begins moving away from fossil fuels? U.S. coronavirus cases and deaths plummet as officials push for vaccinations. India breaks its COVID record as concerns arise over the government downplaying the crisis. SpaceX Starship prototype launch a success. Former circus elephants get spacious new home in Florida. Trillions of cicadas as loud as lawnmowers emerge in 15 states after 17 years underground. Promising results versus COVID variants from Moderna, Pfizer vaccines. Dire oxygen shortage in India as COVID-19 crisis intensifies. States ramp up vaccine incentives as demand slows. The next headlines are from the New York Daily News. Manhattan to candidate and court endorsed by fellow state lawmaker John Liu. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms will not run for re-election. 2,000-year-old marblehead of Rome's first emperor, Augustus, unearthed in small Italian town. Minnesota man captured after taking 5 hostages during bank robbery, all hostages safe. Board of Elections should publish waiting times of polling sites, Bronx lawmaker says. Mayor de Blasio, NYC ready to vaccinate tourists. 1 killed after driver strikes crowd outside Texas restaurant. From Fauci to Aerosmith, unique Vatican conference explores connections between body, mind and soul. Andrew Yang drops $1.50 on first TV ad as Eric Adams chips away at his front-runner status. NYC mayoral candidate Ray McGuire endorsed by mother of Sean Bell, black man killed by NYPD. The following headlines are from military.com. Fall of Kabul, Taliban overthrow not a foregone conclusion, Milley says. Department of Defense investigating former Army officer who used Arlington Cemetery footage in campaign ad. Army to overhaul criminal, sexual assault investigations after Vanessa Guillen murder. Army recruit who hijacked bus full of children was just trying to get home, general says. France sends patrol boats as fishing tensions flare with UK. Some B-1 bombers return to flight following fuel system inspection. Army allows female soldiers to wear long ponytails in all uniforms. A British Space Force, never say never, says UK general. Army Fort Jackson trainee arrested after allegedly hijacking a school bus full of children. Indonesian leader says country doesn't want famous U.S. Coast Guard cutter, report. The next headlines are from the Chicago Tribune. Box turtle survey, with a canine assist, helps researchers understand where risks to human health might emerge. Even in Chicago's crowded history of FBI cooperators, Daniel Solis' deal stands out. Column, instead of politics and doom, let's talk about birds and chipmunks. Indicted Democratic operative Patrick Doherty hit with new charges in red light camera shakedown scheme. Boy, 12, critically injured in Southside shooting. Coronavirus in Illinois updates, Pritzker says COVID-19 restrictions will loosen May 14 with goal of fully reopening state on June 11. 1,778 new cases and 40 deaths reported Thursday. Chicago man killed in DuPage County crash on I-290. Some Illinois doctors gearing up to offer COVID-19 vaccines in their offices. Corvette catches fire after rear-ending car in Dan Ryan Express lanes, snarling traffic. Second analysis of Chicago police search warrants by Inspector General finds reporting gaps, major racial disparities. The following headlines are from FIS.org. Coldplay beam new song into space and chat with French astronaut. China says extremely low risk of damage on Earth from rocket re-entry. I felt really heavy, astronauts describe returning to Earth on SpaceX capsule. U.S. not planning to shoot down errant Chinese rocket, defense chief. U.S. braces for billions of cicadas to emerge after 17 years underground. Indonesia Cinnabon spews column of volcanic ash into sky. PCB contamination in Icelandic orcas, a matter of diet. Transforming atmospheric carbon into industrially useful materials. What consumers mean when they say your products are authentic. Swabbing elevates processing plant food safety. Thank you for listening and for staying informed. This audio was produced today, Friday, May 7th, in the GMT time zone. The next headlines are from the Seattle Times. Tokyo Olympic head says Bach visit to Japan could be tough. China propels BMW to strong profits, Germany lags. German factory production, exports up in March and good sign. Pakistan PM heading to Saudi Arabia for talks to boost ties. Leading off, Pujol seeks new home, Arenado vs Rockies. Jared Kelenic homers twice at Cheney Stadium in Rainier's return. When will he do it at T-Mobile Park? The following headlines are from MercuryNews.com. Word Game, May 7, 2021. Bridge, May 7, 2021. Horoscopes May 7, 2021, Sydney LaRue, use your charm to get your way. Ask Amy, my ex is torturing me with gloating texts. Harriet Cole, my rich friend and my poor friend are arguing about our vacation. Miss Manners, I know Zoom showers are a drag, but how else can I get gifts? Dear Abby, my husband's half-sister says she's in love with him. Magnitude 4.7 quake strikes California-Nevada border area. Steph Curry scores 34 and the Warriors take care of business and win over Thunder. Family of Chris Cornell settles with doctor over his death. The next headlines are from the Washington Times. Carbon emissions from energy dropped 10% in the EU last year. Israel says troops kill 2 Palestinian attackers in West Bank. The latest, European agency studying new COVID-19 treatment. Don't fall back, Alabama seeks permanent daylight saving. Parts distributor building Kentucky facility, adding 80 jobs. Virginia City alters body camera policy in wake of shooting. Tortilla equipment manufacturer plans 210 jobs in Tennessee. The next headlines are from The Intercept. Inspector General rebukes EPA for failing to protect communities from carcinogenic air pollution. Republican running for Virginia governor took cash from lobbyists tied to Coca-Cola. Longtime Bloomberg ally bets on Andrew Yang for New York. Opposing PRO Act, Uber and other gig companies spend over $1 million lobbying Congress. Drone whistleblower Daniel Hale jailed ahead of sentencing. This is No Views, daily automated podcast news. You are hearing headlines for Friday, May 7, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from Eureka Alert. Learning on the fly. Systemic inequalities driving exposure to high indoor air pollution in London. Rare genetic disease caused by mutations in protein that controls RNA metabolism. The role of the gut microbiota in inflammatory skin diseases. Hand dermatitis in 2/3 of public due to stringent hand hygiene during COVID. Head to toe, study reveals brain activity behind missed penalty kicks. A bridge from classroom to providing actual patient care, a study of the Regenstrief tremor. Alzheimer Europe calls for people with dementia and carers to be prioritized for vaccine. Temperature explains why aquatic life more diverse near equator. The next headlines are from the Chicago Sun-Times. 5-shot Thursday in Chicago. The unfinished legacy of outgoing CPS CEO Janice Jackson. Clerk robbed at gunpoint at Portage Park restaurant. 5 vehicles broken into in Morgan Park. 12-year-old boy critically wounded in Southside shooting. Teen boy, 17, charged with carjacking, robbery in South Deering. Horoscope for Friday, May 7, 2021. Car thefts reported in Englewood. IHSA base fishing, challenging weather doesn't diminish return of sectionals. Gas station employee shot by group trying to leave store without paying in Burnside, police. You are hearing today's news headlines. These headlines are for Friday, May 7, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from the Houston Press. Rockets have 13 players on their injury report. Openings and closings, The Limber by David Cordua, Van Leeuwen ice cream arrives. Air Jordan returns in win over New York. Recent third-round QB history not kind to Houston Texans. Houston Chamber Choir summons patron saint of music in season finale. Reviews for the uneasily quarantined Wrath of Man. Houston's 5 best weekend food bets, treat mom to a decadent brunch this Mother's Day. Yusef Lateef's worldwide jazz journey reissued on vinyl. Maria Muldaur and Tuba Skinny get happy together in New Orleans. Night Ranger wants you to know, you can still rock in Houston. The next headlines are about world records making news. Indian girl creates world record by memorizing capitals and currencies of all countries, Republic TV. COVID-19 live updates, India shatters global record as cases surge again, The Washington Post. Gandhi warns explosive COVID wave threatens India and the world, Reuters. Vegan athlete to attempts 3 world records in just 24 hours, plant-based news. Riverview man sets Guinness World Record for watching Avengers, Endgame, ABC Action News. India's daily COVID-19 cases rise by record 414,188, Reuters India. Tenor Neil Lachman to be awarded Guinness World Record for major operatic feat, Opera Wire. Wang Jianjia drops 8 hours, 20 minutes, and 38 seconds to win 800 free final at Chinese Olympic trials, swim. 16 Kansas City siblings back together after 2 years, celebrating world record, WZZM13.com. Lancer Evo VITME sells for world record price at Mitsubishi auction, hot cars. The next headlines are from Gizmodo. Popular smoke alarms were called over failure to alert during fire. On the Bad Batch, choosing when to fight is a family matter. Critics are panning this new pizza vending machine in Rome. If you use Twitter's new tip jar feature, make sure you don't accidentally send people your address. The kid from David After Dentist is now in college and selling an NFT of his viral video to pay tuition. George A. Romero's Lost film has a trailer, and it's the weirdest thing you'll see all day. Sailor Moon Eternal's new trailer is a stunning take on the dream arc. Peloton Tread could relaunch this summer, but the more dangerous Tread Plus is a bigger problem. They're just letting everybody into the Hellfire Gala, apparently. Researchers discover peaceful turtle playground in the Sargasso Sea. What place in the world had the hottest and coolest temperatures today? According to ElDoradoWeather.com, the hottest place on Earth in the past 24 hours was New Wasib in Kuwait at 118.76 degrees Fahrenheit or 48.2 degrees Celsius. The coldest recorded weather temperature on Earth in the past 24 hours was Vostok in Antarctica at minus 102.1 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 74.5 degrees Celsius. The following headlines are from Ars Technica. What cats love of boxes and squares can tell us about their visual perception. Paramount Plus hits 36 million subscribers, will stream sci-fi movie Infinite. World of Warcraft, Burning Crusade re-returns on June 1st, requires cloning. Today's best tech deals, new iPad Pro, Amazon devices, and more. Biggest internet service providers paid for 8.5 million fake FCC comments opposing net neutrality. Sea level rise uncertainties, why all eyes are on Antarctica. The Google Assistant is now a Google messaging service. U.S. physics lab Fermilab exposes proprietary data for all to see. China's carbon pollution now surpasses all developed countries combined. The following headlines are from Raw Story. UK's ruling Conservatives strike early Super Thursday blow with win in Labour stronghold. Indonesia's Sinabung volcano erupts. There's a simple, and dangerous, reason Rep. Stefanik is the leading candidate to replace Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney secretly organized key move to block Trump from using military to overturn election, report. Kushner Company broke numerous laws by ripping off tenants, judge's 252-page decision. Watch, Arizona audit hilariously ridiculed by The Daily Show. Lindsey Graham to bail out Georgia Republicans who passed Jim Crow 2.0 voter suppression bill. Tucker Carlson tries to blame Joe Biden for Fox News misleading Americans on vaccines. Melinda Gates was furious Bill Gates was pals with Jeffrey Epstein, report. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms will not seek re-election, report. The next headlines are from Mother Jones. I hate seeing myself on Zoom. Turns out, I'm not alone. Trump spawned a new group of mega donors who now hold sway over the GOP's future. How Bitcoin mining keeps old fossil fuel plants alive. The wave of GOP anti-protest bills will criminalize protesters and sabotage police reform, too. I longed for that hug. A mother reunites with her sons 4 years after being separated at the border. Some thoughts on Eric Clapton and classic rock nostalgia. They went back to India to care for parents dying of COVID-19. Now, they're stranded. Doctor, lawyer, insurrectionist, the radicalization of Simone Gold. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signs a voter suppression bill, and Fox News has the only camera. Kushner companies violated multiple laws in massive tenant dispute, judge rules. The next items are today's top search results for extraterrestrial life. My turn, 2 ways to look at Earth, the recorder. Are UFOs real? With Gideon Lewis Krause, The Ringer. The following items are today's top search results for the term neuroplasticity. Take a deep, healing breath, Deccan Chronicle. AI and MedTech, risks and opportunities of innovative technologies in medical applications, MedTech Intelligence. The cerebellum may have played an important role in the evolution of the human brain. Study compares epigenetic modifications to DNA in the cerebellum of humans, chimpanzees and monkeys, Science Daily. Biology professor awarded $1 to study bird flight, McGill Reporter. The coding and long non-coding single-cell atlas of the developing human fetal striatum, Science magazine. Gene therapy preserves memory in Alzheimer's mouse model, healthanalytics.com. Red Light Holland, OTC, Truff, receives patent pending status for find your dose customization of microdosing kits based on biometric and movement data, Wall Street Reporter. NervGen Pharma announces first subject dosed in Phase 1 clinical trial of NVG-291, Stockhouse. Your brain can be plastic if you want, The Star Online. We are nearing the end of this broadcast. This report is for Friday, May 7th, 2021 in the GMT time zone. What cities are in that time zone? Well, Reykjavik, Iceland, for one. You might wonder if our server is in Reykjavik. It could be. The following is from the UFO Chronicles. Project announcement, evaluation of the DOD's actions regarding the unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP. That's it for now. Thanks for enjoying today's newsfeed headlines. This, indeed, has been a No Views, daily automated podcast newscast for Friday, May 7th, 2021. Bookmark us and tune in each day to our free automated podcast to find out what's going on, around, and, sometimes, light years, beyond the Earth. Fair use statement. News i8 is a US-based educational not-for-profit news site. We use only parts of content, in transformative ways and without market usurpation. This means you are still going to want to read the original if you are interested in it beyond the headline and any comments we make. We provide links to original sources wherever possible. If you have any copyright concern, please contact us via our About page for immediate remedy. Contact us, Zeno at XENOMAILS 2021 by News i8. All rights reserved.